All right, let's dive into something that, let's be honest, affects every single one of us. The cost of living just keeps going up. I mean, why does it feel like your money just doesn't stretch as far as it used to? And more importantly, is there anything you can actually do about it? Well, we're going to get into all of that.
You know that feeling, right? You get paid, you take care of the bills, you do a grocery run, and then you look at your account and poof, it's gone. If you've ever felt that frustrating pinch, trust me, you are not alone. It's like this silent battle we're all fighting against prices that just seem to creep up and up. So what's really going on here?
Okay, so here's something that might surprise you. Not all price increases are actually bad. Yeah, really. A little bit of a slow, stable rise can actually be good for the economy. It encourages businesses to invest and grow. The real villain here, the one we all feel, is that high, super fast price rise. That's inflation. And that's what creates chaos and just makes life so much harder.
And listen, this isn't just some abstract economic theory we're talking about. It has a real human cost. This quote really just hits the nail on the head. It's this vicious, relentless cycle that just keeps going, and it's the poor and the middle class who get hit the hardest. It turns buying even basic necessities into a real struggle.
So if we're going to tackle this problem, we've got to understand where it comes from, right? We need to get to the roots. So let's break down the main reasons why your wallet might be feeling a little bit lighter these days.
When you boil it all down, it really comes down to a super simple idea. There's too much money chasing too few goods. I mean, think about it like an auction, right? If suddenly everyone in the room has a lot more cash to spend, or if there are way fewer things to bid on, what happens? The prices go through the roof. That's the basic idea we're going to unpack.
So on one side of the equation, you've got the too much money problem. Where does all this extra cash come from? Well, sometimes the central bank literally prints more money. Or you have black money, that hidden income that dodges taxes flowing into the system. And then you've got things like population growth and big government spending projects. All of that injects more money and more demand into the economy, pushing prices up.
And now for the flip side of that coin, the too few goods problem. This can happen for a bunch of reasons. You could have a natural disaster, like a drought, that ruins crops. Or maybe there's a strike that shuts down a factory. Production just stops, and the supply shrinks. But sometimes, this shortage is totally artificial. You get people hoarding goods on purpose, just so they can sell them for a massive profit later. And this stuff isn't just local. High prices for raw materials? That's all about global supply chains. A problem halfway across the world can suddenly make the parts in your phone or the gas in your car way more expensive.
Okay, so what's being done about all this? I mean, on the big national level. Well, governments and central banks aren't just sitting around. They have some pretty powerful tools they can use to try and get things under control.
They basically have two major playbooks. First, you've got monetary measures. This is the central bank's job. They can do things like raise interest rates. That makes it more expensive to borrow money, which kind of cools everything down. Then you have fiscal measures. This is what the government itself controls, things like changing taxes or adjusting public spending. Both are really big levers they can pull to fight inflation.
But while all that big picture stuff is happening, there's another battle going on, right down here, on the ground. You see, a chaotic market, with prices all over the place, becomes a perfect playground for exploitation. And guess who ends up paying the price? Yep, the consumer.
And this is so important. Exploitation absolutely thrives when people are in the dark. When we as consumers don't know our rights or we don't know what to look out for, it makes it super easy for people to take advantage. That's why knowledge is your absolute best defense. And this isn't some rare thing. It happens in all sorts of ways. Ever open a bag of chips and it's basically all air? That's a classic. Or how about getting suckered in by some totally misleading ad? Or, and this is a big one, seeing a shopkeeper try to charge you more than the price printed on the package. These aren't just little annoyances, you guys. These are real tactics used to cheat you out of your money.
But here's the good news. You are not powerless in this situation. Not at all. It's time to arm yourself with some knowledge, because you have rights, and these rights are actually protected by law. So let's find out exactly what they are.
So way back in 1986, a really powerful law was passed in India, the Consumer Protection Act. And it gives every single consumer 6 fundamental rights. Now, these are not just, friendly suggestions. They are your legal shield in the marketplace. Let's see how they work in the real world.
You've probably seen this ISI mark a million times, right? Well, this is your right to safety right there in action. When you see this on an electronic gadget or a gas cylinder, it means it's been tested and meets Indian safety standards. It's literally there to protect you from buying something dangerous.
And here's another one. This Agmark logo, this is all about your right to information. When you see it on agricultural products like ghee or spices, it's a guarantee of purity. It's telling you, hey, what's inside this package is the real deal, so you know exactly what you're buying.
It's the same idea with the hallmark on gold. That little mark is a guarantee of the gold's purity, and this protects your right to choose. It gives you the confidence to pick out what you want, knowing you're getting the quality you're paying for and not some clever fake.
Okay, but what if things still go wrong? What if you buy something that's faulty or you feel like you've been totally cheated? Well, that's where another really important right comes in, the right to seek redressal. This means you have a right to get things sorted, to get compensation, and there's an entire system set up just to help you do that.
And this system is actually pretty straightforward. It's a 3-tier court system built specifically for consumers. For claims up to 20 lakh rupees, you go to the district forum. For bigger claims up to 1 crore, there's the state commission. And for anything above that, you go to the national commission. It's designed to be a clear step-by-step path to get justice.
So, you see, it all circles back to one simple but incredibly powerful idea. You've probably heard the government's campaign slogan, Jago Grahak Jago. Wake up, consumer, because that's truly it. The single most powerful weapon you have against rising prices and getting ripped off is awareness. It's knowing your rights and, just as importantly, knowing how to use them.
The takeaway here is that you're not just a victim in this whole thing. You're an empowered player. You now have the knowledge, you have the tools to protect yourself, so the only question left is, what are you going to do with them?